in your dreams. Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Siobhan. I'm a professional psychic medium, akashic reader, spiritual mentor, and teacher. And if you guys are here on the channel, then you are interested in pick a card readings and spiritual development. So today's reading, we're looking at dream interpretation, what your dreams mean, how you can follow those little tips, breadcrumbs, puzzle pieces, synchronicities to find the deeper meaning that your subconscious is trying to translate to you. So we have 3 options to choose from today, which I will put up on the screen. We have group number 1 with the dream catcher, group number 2 with the moon and clouds, and group number 3 with the stars. So select the group or multiple groups that resonate with you. You can use the image, you can use a number, you can do it really randomly, whatever you feel most intuitively drawn to, that's going to be the reading that has the messages for you. If you feel drawn to more than one, that's totally fine. Just take what resonates with you from within those readings and leave the rest. And we'll see you there. All right, hi group number 1, you guys chose the dream catcher. And the reason I was inspired to create this reading today, I actually had a different reading planned for today, but Spirit, being Spirit, will have me do certain things at certain times, and sometimes that doesn't go with my plans. So what they've guided me to recently has been to create a dream journal. And this is the dream journal that I just picked up. It's just a random book that I got from the dollar store, but it says follow your dreams. And I thought, like, how perfect is that for making a dream journal? So what I've been doing is actually writing down the dream and then the interpretation of that dream, the general themes, and what that means for me in what I'm working with in my daily life. So these can be healing subconscious wounds, karmic patterns, unconscious behaviors. All of these types of things are implicated by our dreams. So we're going to find out some information about your dreams, what your subconscious is trying to tell you, and how you can work more effectively with that energy. So you guys chose the dream catcher. Obviously, this has to do with dreams, but I'm feeling like there may be something to do with nightmares or something to do with the, I just heard unconscious wounding that you've kind of been seeing come up periodically throughout, I just heard your teens and 20s. Okay, so think back to your teenage years, group number 1, and your 20s. What were the repetitive themes that you were seeing in your dreams? Maybe you were having recurring dreams. Maybe there were some patterns of nightmares or just dreams that made you feel uncomfortable. That's kind of what I'm getting from you guys. So we're going to find out what this means and what you need to do about it. Okay, so let's start. I feel this deck first, so we're just going to see what comes up for group number 1. In regard to their dreams, what do they need to know, please, Spirit? I do feel this card. Okay, so you have be still. This is an indication to meditate on it. That's what I heard really loudly. So getting really still in your mind, which means sitting back and playing the observer. So being in the observer role is really going to help you, group number 1, to see what's going on behind the scenes. It's kind of like there's a lot of different threads to this. That's what they're showing me with the hair. Like, look at all her different strands of hair, all different colors. So there's a lot of different threads to this in terms of the subconscious patterning or programming, and that's why they're recommending that you get really still, because it's kind of like, now they're showing me a maypole. It's like wrapping these different colored cords around the pole. Okay, yeah, it kind of does look like that in my mind. So it feels like you kind of have to stay still to find your way back to the center, if that makes sense. It's like by trying to chase it, you're just kind of wrapping yourself up in it even more, and getting tangled. And so they want you to be very still so that you are the central point. And if you are the central point, then no matter what's going on outside around you, you're able to get to the core of the matter, if that makes sense. So let's get some more information. I actually feel the one on the top. Walk your truth. So this could have to do with your expression, your sense of self, especially if we're talking about things that may have started coming up in your teens and 20s. This is the developmental stages of our life. These are the developmental stages of our life that are very much concerned with our identity and ego formation. So we're kind of learning who we are, what we're all about, what is authentic expression to us. And I know for me anyway, and I know for a lot of us, our teens and 20s are experimental years. We don't really know who we are yet. A lot of the time there's people-pleasing tendencies, or there's conformity that can come to the forefront depending on our level of security and our upbringing and our surroundings and our environment and a whole host of other things, which I won't go into here in this reading. But I'm seeing that this is something to do with your authentic expression, group number 1, and how that applies to the wounding or to this uncomfortable dream, because it doesn't quite feel like a nightmare. It's not like you're in mortal peril in the dream. It feels more like it's uncomfortable. It's something that you'd rather not have to look at. It's something that is maybe like, for example, those dreams where you're like walking around outside and all of a sudden you're bottomless and you're like, where did my pants go? I'm naked, I'm vulnerable, or it could be one of those even slightly worse ones where those anxiety dreams come out, where it's like you're grinding your teeth at night and then all of a sudden you're having these dreams about your teeth falling out. Ugh, hate those. So it's something like that it's not like those really, really super scary dreams that are like highly disturbing, but it's uncomfortable and it's not like you like it, So yeah, actually, I do want to go into the next deck now. So the second deck that wanted to be here for you guys is actually the Rumi deck. And all of these decks that we're using today were donated by subscribers. So thank you guys for sending those in. I have an Amazon wish list in the description box, and I have like 1 million decks saved in there. So thank you guys. I love these. Okay, we actually have 2 from the Rumi deck. Ooh, interesting. Okay, you have Blood Angel. And I'm seeing similar sort of color themes. Look at that. The subconscious mind communicates in many different ways, and a lot of it is through symbolism, imagery, feeling, and also color. So there's something to do here with color, and when I think of colors, I think of spectrums. When I think of spectrums, there's a lot of different things that come to mind, but specifically the energy spectrum. And when there's all these different colors involved, these are different layers of the self, like the chakra system. It's the rainbow body, and these are different layers of the self. Each energy center represents a different archetype or expression of our identity. And so I feel like there may have been developmental sort of blocks to you really walking in your truth or showing up authentically. I'm getting like family line stuff. Maybe you weren't nurtured the way that you needed to in your teen and into your 20s. Maybe your parents weren't supportive of you, or you didn't have the familial support that you needed to feel that sense of security, because Blood Angel is reminding me of the bloodline, so the lineage. And I'm actually going to probably create a video entirely dedicated to lineage stuff and ancestral healing, because that's been coming up in personal readings that I've done for people, and also in my own life and channeled through from spirit. So stay tuned for that. But I'm also seeing the number 7 here in this card. It's number 7. That's also a very spiritually still number. So it's about getting quiet and retreating inward, introspecting, feeling, sensing. That's what we need to do to be able to decipher our dreams. So this is really sort of making sense to me. And you have Cosmic Heart as well. Number 8, Cosmic Heart. Okay, I just heard getting to the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter here feels very much like you need to find your central stability point. The structure to be able to stand in and own your own self and accept yourself for who you are. Because what I'm getting here is that these dreams that you're having, or that you had in the past, are very much connected to you not feeling fully accepted, loved, or securely attached to the people in your life that you really needed to be there for you at a time that you were going through a lot of personal self-development. Yeah. So the Cosmic Heart here is helping you to reconnect to yourself again. Knowing yourself at that deeper level is going to help, because you're going to see the pieces of yourself that you thought were missing. They just showed me like all of the little holes in the dream catcher. It's like you may have felt like things were missing, but everything's actually connected. And I think that kind of goes really back to that maypole and to this image of her as well. It's like there are connecting themes and streams of consciousness is what they just said. Yeah, streams of consciousness that really flow between all of these things, and it is all connected, but you are the central point through which everything is connected. So it's not like there's anything missing. It's just that there may be gaps in your awareness because of these different sort of convoluted routes that things had to take consciously, in this case subconsciously, as a way to combat I'm getting like the energy of judgment, feeling judged by people in your close connections. These most likely would have been family members, but they could have also been friends in your peer group as well, especially if you weren't close with your family in those years and you spent a lot more time with friends. So take it as it resonates or how it applies to you. But I'm seeing that the connections, or lack thereof, in their depth and authenticity kind of created this very tangled sort of mess of you being your own self and feeling safe to do that. Okay, so let's keep going. For group number 1, what else do they need to know here about this dream or these dreams that they're having? No, it's actually, no, keep going. Okay, there it is, that one. And that's it. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Peace. Oh, you guys, I love this so much. Look at this card. You have peace. Be still. Peace. You know, they really, really are advising you, and by they, I mean Spirit, and your subconscious mind is connected to Spirit. So you are advising you to be still and to find that inner peace, because that is what's going to help you, group number 1, to walk your path. There's a bridge over troubled waters here is what they're showing me. This person sitting underneath a bridge, that feels significant to me as well. It's actually jogging something in my memory of when I was sitting underneath a bridge, and it was a moment of peace and clarity for me. And it was a moment of like feeling really connected to myself. So I'm kind of being drawn to that as an example of what this is going to look like for you. So being able to find those moments of peace is going to bring things full circle, and it's going to give you this bridge over troubled waters. Look at how the bridge is reflecting mirrored in the surface here, and it's like this rainbow, and it's a full circle, right? So you're going to find that bridge over troubled waters that's going to bring everything full circle, and you're going to understand how these things are connected. Now, this might take some time. Group number 1, the number 31 just stood out to me. This could be an age, or this could be a time period, 31, like 31 days, or the 31st of a particular month, or you could be the age of 31, or that could have been a significant time. But I'm seeing that this, because they did give this message to me of this is going to take some time, and then I saw that number, so I'm trying to like fit it together or see how it applies. But I'm seeing that this is going to take some time. Okay, so it's like doing this subconscious work. It is a deep dive, and it does require you to kind of piece these things together, or unravel them, I should say, slowly and methodically. So having patience with yourself and being still and peaceful through that process is going to make it a whole lot easier, so that you're not kind of scrambling around trying to figure out how to untangle things. Because now they're showing me somebody trying to untangle a knot. And it's kind of like if you try to do it really fast and aggressively, and you're flustered when you're trying to do it, you're probably just going to make it worse, or you're not going to, you're just not going to feel good about the process. Whereas what they're recommending here is kind of like just relaxing and allowing these things to take their path, is what they just said, allowing things to take their path, following it and tracing it back, so that it becomes a much more fluid process of untying some of these knots. These could be karmic. Like I said, they could be related to the bloodline, but they're definitely there in the subconscious either way. So that will be the conduit to access them. So I definitely recommend getting a dream journal, because I think that's going to be really helpful in interpreting what these things mean for you in terms of your daily life, and how you can start to trace these things back and change these patterns within yourself, becoming the version of you that you were always going to be. But now doing it with more of a sense of confidence and peace and unconditional acceptance for yourself. Ooh, interesting. You have the Peacock card with pregnancy and wealth. So, okay, there's a couple of messages that are coming through really quickly from this card. The first one was confidence to be able to walk your truth. It's like, strut your stuff kind of thing. And it's not showing off. It's more just being able to be yourself, because a peacock isn't really even showing off. That's just what they are, like that's how they're built and that's what they do. And it's part of their instinct to, shake their tail feathers. So I feel like this is part of it. The other message that was coming through was this peacock sitting on the branch, and it felt like going out on a limb a little bit. So taking some chances, being willing to put yourself out there so that you can gain a little bit more confidence in your own wings rather than relying so much on the branch, if that makes sense. And the last thing that was coming through here is regard to the pregnancy. They were showing me that this may even go back so far as when you were in the womb. So these could have been themes or energies that you picked up on from your mother or even from your father, but I'm getting it more so to do with the mother side and how your mother felt when you were in her womb would transmit to you, and subconsciously you would, I just got the word imprint. It's like you imprinted that, and that may have caused or been a contributing factor in some of these patterns that have played out over your life. So this goes way back then. Yeah, this goes way back. And now you are being called to discover the deeper roots of this so that you can step more fully into your confidence, into your wealth, into your stability, into more peace in your life. If it's financial stability that you're needing that's going to bring peace, then great. If it's going to be internal security and a sense of confidence that's going to create that sense of peace, then great. Or maybe it's all of the above, right? It could be multiple things. Confidence in your appearance could be part of this as well. Yeah. Confidence in your health. So it's like what you value and how that is going to be provided to you, which will allow peace to come in. But it's not being provided from the outside. It's not like somebody's coming in and giving you this peace. It's you creating it for yourself by tapping into and connecting to these chords, these different aspects of the self, the subconscious mind. You have horse with freedom and action. I really like that because you are moving forward. Okay, group number 1. So you're moving forward, you're taking action. There's a wildness here that I'm getting as well. Feels like rewilding. Again, that's like walking your truth, coming back into your authentic expression, no longer conforming. I did use that word conformity earlier in the reading. So I feel like you're going the opposite direction now. At this stage in your life, you're ready to really self-identify and release some of the confines and the constrictions of what maybe other people or society or culture or whatever has imprinted on you that you needed to be a certain way to get love. This internal unconditional love is being installed, or I guess reinstalled or reactivated, whatever you want to say here. And it's allowing you to really just kind of like show your true colors in the best possible way. I think that's another reason why there's so much color in these cards. And rainbows were so specific here is because you are allowing your true colors to shine through. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So I feel like you guys are finding this internal peace, which is setting you free from any expectations of the outside world, and you're aligning with what feels right for you, being authentic because it feels good, right? That's the goal. Ooh, yeah, and it's aligned with divine love, cosmic heart. It's really extremely healing for you. It's healing the relationship with yourself is what I'm seeing, group number 1. You also have turtle with slowness and protection. Now, all of these cards from this particular coffee cup oracle that have come out for you are all animals. The peacock, the horse, the turtle, and this is not a purely animal oracle deck. It has other cards in it. So this gives me an indication that you're working again with your own state of your natural essence, getting back to your roots, connecting to your own inner instinct that may have gotten overridden by some of these programs that you were exposed to in your environment or in your upbringing. experiences you had, things like that. Again, I do feel like this is going to take a while, so don't rush this process, group number one. The slowness is for your protection, especially when you're working with the deep layers of the subconscious mind and you're doing some unraveling as you are. It does take time to do it right. You don't want to rush the process. It'll make it easier if you just relax and let this unfold and go with the flow, really. That's really what the turtle kind of represents here as well. It always reminds me of Finding Nemo when the turtles are in the North Atlantic current and they're being carried a lot faster. So the more that you relax, the more you get into the flow, the faster you can go. But if you try to force the process or you try to rush it, essentially you're pushing against yourself, and that's creating more tension, more restriction, and more tangling within the unconscious mind. So that's why it's like slow down to speed up type of energy. And you have the scarab, nourishment and transformation. So 4 cards from this deck, all animals. So the natural world is really going to help you. I just heard nature kingdom. Yeah, so the nature kingdom is really going to help you get back to your own nature. So pay attention to the animal spirits that are coming up or wanting to work with you. Could be peacock, turtle, horse, or scarab. Any other animal that has been showing up repeatedly, that these could also be showing up in your dreams. So again, write them down. Are you seeing a particular animal in your dreams, and then that's showing up in your outside world through synchronicities and things like that? So the scarabs is about nourishment and transformation, and there's like this golden jeweled aspect here. So it does feel like there's a lot of value, a lot of inner spiritual wealth that you are going to be unlocking through this healing process. And as you walk your truth, you are nourishing yourself. I just see your self-worth going through the roof. And as your self-worth goes up, guess what? The physical value that reflects that you're going to see that mirrored back to you in the external world, because what your external environment is really just it's like a projection of the inside. And then we see it kind of mirrored back to us, but it's really the inside being projected outward because we're creator beings. And you had some stuff here. You had some stuff going on below the surface, group number one. Tangled web that has been woven probably through your lineage. And so you may have incarnated into an ancestral line that had a lot of karmic knots in it. And that's okay. That's normal. A lot of us do, especially powerful, spiritually advanced souls. We actually choose that intentionally. Our human selves are like, why? But our soul is like, just trust me on this one. So they really want you to focus on the transformation that you're going through into the version of you that you've always intended to be. And I think that healing and reconnecting with yourself is going to help you do that. Okay, and then we have the key, lock, and unlock. So things that were locked because they were kind of bound up or tied are going to be unlocked because you are accessing these keys through the subconscious mind. They just keep repeating that it's really important for you, group number one, to keep a dream journal. I'm going to recommend that to all the groups, but especially for you because there's keys in those patterns of your subconscious trying to communicate to you through symbols, through imagery, through those dream environments that are going to help you to kind of pull at these threads and unravel it so you can see what you're working with here and then transform it into something else. It's kind of like you're taking a really tangled sweater. It's all knotted up and jumbled and old and yucky, and you're kind of like finding where's that one little thread and tracing it back and pulling it all out. And then you're kind of like re-balling it up and you're like, okay, what do I want to make now? Okay, I have this raw material and I've transformed it into this new expression and I'm going to make like a really cute new sweater out of it. So you're transforming, you're really alchemizing some stuff here. And again, that's why it takes time. All right, group number one. So that is what I see for you. Your dream from your past that is still continuing to recur, or that they're calling you back to through this work, is going to help you to unlock certain things within you that is helping you to heal the lineage, and in turn helping you to heal and overcome blocks to you really being your most authentic self. So it's going to set you free and you're going to experience a lot more peace and wealth as a result. So I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today and allowing me to do this for you. If you guys are interested in really diving deep and understanding the subconscious mind, I definitely recommend learning tarot. Tarot helps you to understand symbolism, which is exactly what the subconscious mind and the spirit realm speaks through. So if you can understand the tarot, you have a way better chance and an advantage really at being able to unpack some of these patterns. And lucky for you, I'm teaching Tarot 101 in January. So this is the first iteration of Tarot 101. It's going to be a live Zoom webinar/workshop where we're going to be going super in depth into the tarot meanings for beginners or intermediates alike. If you want a refresher, this is a great course for you as well. So if you guys want to sign up, the information is down in the description box. Click the link and reserve your spot today. Hope to see you there. And if you guys are interested in diving deeper here on the channel, I do have additional content on the members side of the channel. There's 2 tiers, Soul Family and Soul Tribe, and they're at different price points with different advantages. So if you guys are interested in more esoteric content, additional pick-a-card readings, and also monthly live streams where the members can ask me personal questions and get direct guidance from Spirit through the cards or through my psychic abilities, then sign up today and become a member here on the channel. Thank you guys. I love you. And we will see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2. You guys chose the moon, clouds, couple of stars there as well. Just feels like a bedtime story, and I feel like I'm getting inner child right away. Okay, so there's something to do with the inner child. You could be dreaming about things from childhood. I'm seeing childhood locations like your home, and that's pretty standard for the subconscious mind. Usually we'll have like an arena that we're familiar with, not always, right? We can be in unfamiliar territory in our dreams, but a lot of the time the subconscious will take us back to places that we grew up or that we felt very secure or that we had a lot of roots or where there's unresolved stuff that needs to be addressed. So the reason I felt called to make this reading, group number 2, is because Spirit has been really prompting me personally, and also I've seen it reflected in client work and in the members' readings as well, that it's really important for all of us right now to be really deep diving into our dreams and understanding the subconscious information therein. So Spirit guided me to get myself a little dream journal. It says follow your dreams. How cute, how perfect, right? It's just like a blank notebook that I turned into a dream journal. So what I do is first thing in the morning, as soon as I wake up, immediately write down everything I can remember. Doesn't have to be super in detail. I can jot it down in point form, or I can do little blurbs of whatever I can get. And then what I'll do is I'll go into the next page with dream themes and interpretations. So I'll look at the underlying themes within the dreams, or the dreams. Sometimes I have multiple ones, and be able to extrapolate the meaning from that. So that's kind of what they're recommending to all of the groups in these readings today. And for you, this could have something to do with childhood, and specifically your childhood home. Okay, so let's get some more information. Where would you like me to start, Spirit? I'm actually feeling this deck first. Okay, so we're gonna get some from I think this is the Sacred Portals deck. Yeah, so I feel like you guys are portals are like openings or doorways to other dimensions, other spaces, other physical places, sometimes to different times as well. So this actually makes a lot of sense. So your subconscious has a portal open to your childhood. And this can be helpful if you're doing it intentionally, if you're opening that door for a reason to do some healing work or some processing, things like that. But if it's just kind of like left open, what that's going to cause is you feeling like you're still a child, basically. Like those old childhood emotions and experiences and wounds, they're going to still keep playing out, and it's going to feel very much like it's happening right now. I mean, we all still have our inner child within us all the time, but it's kind of like there's something specific from this one period of time that they're showing me is relevant, and that is kind of like on a loop. They're showing me a broken record skipping. Yeah, so this is something that happened in childhood that it may be a recurring dream, it may not, but I'm seeing it as like this location keeps coming back up, and it's probably the childhood home. Okay, you have number 20 with imagination. Imagination, imagination, the South Park episode. Anybody? Anybody? No? Just me? Okay. Well, I feel like you guys are reconnecting to your imagination through connection to this inner child. So if the portal that you have open to your inner child is helping you to reconnect to your imagination, then great. That's actually a good thing. If the imagination is needing some clearing or some cleansing, that could also be another thing as to why your subconscious is kind of keeping this doorway open, basically trying to give you an opportunity to reconcile with some of these things from the past. And it could even be a little bit of both, right? Because we're very complex beings. It's not always just one or the other. It's usually all and above. Oh, no way. You guys have peace. Group number 1 just had this as well. And their reading was more to do with teenage years and into their 20s. So for you guys, it's your childhood. Interesting connections, kind of like linear progression. And I've noticed that kind of happens in these readings. Sometimes group number 2 is kind of like the prequel for group number 1, which is the opposite of what you would think it would be. But anyway, I digress. Let's look at this. You have the card of peace. So it feels like through healthy imagination and reconnecting to this part of your inner child that it was so skilled and so adept at creating fantasy, as most, if not all, children are, it's actually going to help you to reconnect to your inner peace. That imagination is really going to help you to unlock things within you that you felt like you lost. And maybe that's why that door is open to the past. And that's why your childhood home keeps coming up, because there's something there maybe that you lost. And maybe it's not a physical thing. It's a part of your imagination. It's part of that capacity for great creativity that really allowed your soul to feel more at peace. Because that's what I'm getting. Okay. Let's go into the Rumi deck. So for group number 2, what else do we need to know here, Spirit, about the stream? I just shuffled. You guys watched me shuffle, okay? And we got the Cosmic Heart, which also came out in group number 1. If you did feel called to group number 1, I would check that out if your intuition is giving you a thumbs up on it. And if not, then that's totally fine. You can just stay right here. But group number 2, I'm feeling like there is a connection to group number 1. And if you already watched group 1 and now you're hearing group 2, this is really just kind of like putting things together, like the puzzle pieces are kind of coming together here. The courage of your love. The courage of your love. And that's kind of what the Cosmic Heart was talking about here as well. Imagination, peace through the heart, expression through the heart, and courage to love. I hope you guys can't hear that music. My upstairs neighbors just put on some music, so I'm not going to stop filming. So yeah, you have the Angel Rasbar as well. I don't know what this one's about necessarily because I'm not super familiar with this deck yet in its actual literal meanings. I usually just kind of read cards intuitively. I prefer it that way, actually. And what I'm getting from this one is it's kind of like she kind of looks like she's in it's like kind of like the roof has been taken off the house and there's a giant who's kind of looking in from above down onto this woman, this goddess. Gives me sort of like a mother archetype vibe that's in the house, and she's very graceful, loving, compassionate. So there's something here about reconnecting to the inner mother. It's like reparenting the self and having that inner child part of you be allowed to thrive again, because you are nurturing them. Whether you're male or female, we all have an inner mother. So if you can reconnect to that inner mother and hold space through this Cosmic Heart and the courage to love this part of you that may have felt like it was left behind or abandoned, or that it wasn't valued for its creativity and its imagination, this part of you is what is seeking connection right now, and that's going to bring things back into a state of peace. Because when there's parts of you that are kind of separated from themselves, it can feel really uncomfortable. We don't feel whole. We feel like there's something missing, and it can even be anxiety provoking or lead to depression because we're kind of cut off from ourselves energetically. And that really shows up through the subconscious mind. So this is reconnecting to yourself. This could be even like allowing yourself to play literally, like going and getting a Barbie that you really wanted as a kid, or a board game that you loved playing as a kid, or doing some finger painting or just regular painting, whatever. It's like reconnecting to your childlike expression through reconnecting quite literally, physically, with these things that you would have done back then. So think back to that time period in your life. What did you do in terms of imagination? How did you play? And then try to incorporate some of that into your actual waking life now as an adult, because it's going to help you to really heal some of these things within the self. And we were talking about projection, not in the negative sense, but just how we kind of project and create our reality in group number 1. And I'm seeing that here with this projection of the orb and these two different people seeing each other from different timelines, but it also feels like different dimensions, different timelines. So again, it's like you've got this portal way open to this past version of you, and they still exist in the ever-present now moment, because time isn't linear. It's kind of more like layered and squashed together, and it's all mixed up. So that version of you is still alive and well, and that's why it's kind of allowing you the opportunity to love that part of you unconditionally, maybe so that you can do some internal integration work and see yourself more clearly now. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Group number 2. You have balance, and this one just came right out on its own. So whenever that happens, it's a big indication that Spirit has an insistent message about this. So you have the balance card, you've got the Om signal, somebody doing some meditation, and there's like a leaf grid pattern to it as well. Yeah, it just feels like you're creating some balance between your relationship with self, like the version of you now and the version of you that you were back then. And it's kind of like getting to know yourself again. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hope. Like you're reintroducing yourself to yourself. And as a result, it's like you're maturing is kind of what it feels like. But at the same time, you're reconnecting to your innocence. So it's like this really nice balance of emotionally maturing to be able to hold space for that younger part of you, while at the same time allowing that to exist in you now. It's a beautiful harmony between those two. I love it. That's what I like to see. And it's that wholeness. It's wholeness. 2s are also about relationships, right? So this is the relationship with you and yourself. Could be the relationship with you and an internal mother or an external mother figure in your life. Could be even the relationship that you saw modeled to you by your parents, because I was seeing these 2 figures here kind of reminding me of like the projections of the past of what your family home was like, or your parents and their dynamic, and how that kind of allowed you to express yourself, or maybe not, depending on your situation. These dreams are helping you, really, group number 2, to identify these parts of the self that need a little bit of nurturing, because that's what it feels like. And they're bringing me back to the sign that you chose, which was that the little cute moon, and it feels like a lullaby. It's like when you sing a child to sleep, the mother nurtures them. Sometimes the father too, right? I shouldn't say sometimes. Yes, the father nurtures too. Being able to harmonize the inner father, the inner mother, to create that sense of security so that your inner child can really feel free. Okay, let's get some coffee cup oracle for you, group number 2. What else does group number 2 need to know, Spirit, about this dream? Okay, you have 3 cards that plopped out onto the table. You have abundance and luck with the fish. Ooh, I like that. Okay, you also have control and change with the teeth. I did mention those yucky teeth dreams in group number 1. I'm not feeling that quite as much in this group, but could be there. And then you also have stability and growth with the tree. So group number 2. Your subconscious mind is trying to help you to access a part of your root system that really needs to be set free. It needs to be allowed to play. And there's a part of the conscious mind that has kind of segregated that off or relegated it to a back room and said, we don't have time for that. And there's been this sort of like internal control mechanism that has prevented that very innocent, free, childlike part of the self from being valued, from being seen, from being appreciated, and from being allowed really to just do what it wants to do when it needs to do it. And to actually embrace that is going to bring about more abundance and luck for you. Why? Because emotion is energy, and both of them flow like water. So if you block off these parts of yourself, if you don't let the imagination have its free range, free range, what is this, like free range chicken? No, but seriously, like you need to have the imagination allowed to run free sometimes, and that's going to help the water to flow. It's going to help you to process emotions from when you were younger. It's going to be very cathartic and very healing, very peaceful, and it's actually going to help you to create more stability and growth in your life because you are changing your approach to these internal mechanisms that are trying to find a way to express. And this is one of the ways that they want to do it, is through playing like you did when you were a kid, whatever that meant for you. I feel like the bubbles here in this card are really drawing my attention, and the first thing that came to mind when I saw them was like bubbles of time. Interesting, right? It's like not linear time like I was saying before. It's like bubbles of time that have kind of like, I don't know, it's like they're all kind of separate. It's like they're not like boxes, they're bubbles for some reason. And it's almost like you kind of need to like merge them back together so that there isn't this open portal between these two separate bubbles. And if you can bring that old one into the present in an integrated way, it's just going to make everything so much easier for you. And it's going to be more fun, group number 2, because you won't feel like you need to unconsciously control that part of yourself and say no to it. And they keep showing me this image of somebody like walking down the street and seeing a beautiful flower and wanting to stop and be like, ooh, pretty, and like, look at this, and there's probably fairies. And I mean, that was me as a kid for sure. So that's the example that they're bringing me. For you, it doesn't have to be like that, but it's kind of like, as adults, we stop ourselves from doing that. Like we might see a pretty flower and go, out of the corner of our eye, we're like side-eyeing it like, oh, that's nice, that's pretty. But we're not gonna like let ourselves stop and be like, wow, and really enjoy it and get into the flow with that moment, because we're like, somebody's gonna see me and they're gonna judge me. But would they even? And if they did, why does it matter? If it's gonna make you happy to do that, isn't that what counts? And it's just kind of like the freedom that children have to just be kids, you know? And I think that we kind of, our society, our culture, our world as a whole has made it really difficult for adults to express themselves freely without judgment. And I think that that's really doing the collective of humanity a disservice. So if we, one person at a time, can start honoring our inner child again and allowing that to become the norm, I think we would live in a better world. So let's do it. Let's do it, group number 2. Let's see if there's anything else Spirit wants you to know here. Yeah, they want me to go back in with this deck. Okay. So for group number 2, in regard to the stream, feel this card, and that's that one there. Okay. I knew it. See? Freedom. Group number 1 had the freedom card from a different deck. You guys have freedom. So again, I feel like those two readings are connected. But anyways, it's the similar same message where I was saying before, it's like you guys really getting free from the restrictions or the compartmentalization that may have happened unconsciously by, needing to grow up, or maybe you were even parentified at a really young age. That's a message that's coming through. That might not be for everyone, but parentification is when we have to take on a lot of responsibility really young, and it's inappropriate for our age category or age group or our state of development. And that may have put you into sort of like an imaginative cage where you were not allowed to be a child because you had these adult-like responsibilities. Maybe it was taking care of a sibling or taking care of your parent if they were emotionally immature or even had physical issues, something like that, right? That can always be the case. And this could be a really healing thing for you to reconnect to those kind of missing parts of your childhood. They're showing me Michael Jackson in my mind. Yeah, he's a really good example of that. Like, he had a lot of responsibility really young, plus a lot of trauma. And I won't go into the conspiracy stuff around him or even the even the like publicity stuff around him. I'm just talking about sort of like the theme that we see in his life, where as an adult, he really returned to his child. Like he was like a big child, and not in like a good way in that case. Well, not, I don't think there really is a bad way, but like I think that he just needed to do a lot of integration work that he didn't get the chance to do in this lifetime. And the best way that he could do that was, with all of the money that he had, to try and recreate a sense of childhood for himself, like building Neverland Ranch or whatever it was. So I feel like you being able to welcome your inner child back again is going to help you to really create not only freedom, but also a sense of stability. Oh yeah, you had the stability card. I was getting stability actually from the number 44 here in this card. So 4s are about stability. It's like the, the foundations, the 4 legs of the chair or table that holds it up and create the stability. It's the same thing in the, literal stability card. So this is going to help you be more stable, because there's going to be more balance, right? Balance. And you are going to feel able to really be you. Both the parts of you that exist from back then, and the parts of you that have developed into the you that you are now, and the parts of you that you're going to become in the future. So it's really integrating all these different aspects and allowing yourself to just be free and enjoy your life. Group number 2. That's what I see. Yeah, so that's what Spirit wanted to say about your dreams. It's inner child healing for sure, and doing some reparenting work, some integration. That's going to create a lot of luck and abundance for you. So go play, group number 2. Go to the toy store, get yourself some toys. I do. So let's normalize it. Let's make it okay. Go run as fast as you can down the street just because you want to. Like, just play. Okay. And write down your dreams, especially if they're related to this inner child stuff, because it's going to help you to see what you need. So I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here on the channel and allowing me to do this reading for you. And if you guys are interested in learning to read tarot for yourself, this can really help you to interpret your dreams. It can help you to understand symbolism and the language of spirit. So it really is an all-encompassing thing. It's not just for divination. It's not just for doing readings. It really is for spiritual development, psychic expansion, intuitive enhancement, all of these wonderful things. So if you want to learn tarot and learn the deeper knowledge behind the symbolism within it, then I'm recommending Tarot 101. I'm starting this class, and it's going to be operating January 3rd. So if you guys are interested in signing up, the link is in the description box below. And if you guys want to dive deeper here on the channel and support my work while getting tons of added value, we have memberships available. You can hit the join button down below underneath this video to become a member. We have Soul Family and Soul Tribe tiers, and both will give you access to additional pick a card readings and the monthly live streams, plus additional advantages for each tier. If you guys are interested, check those out and become a member today. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I love you, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose these stars. And the reason I wanted to sit down and do this reading today was actually because Spirit has really been prompting me lately to do dream interpretation work. And so I usually kind of, I wake up in the morning, I go over my dreams, and then I kind of move on with my day. But Spirit has asked me to get really, really like deep into the nitty-gritty of it. And they wanted me to do this reading today, even though I had a different one planned, because they wanted the collective to be focusing on this right now as well. So what they had me do was go to the dollar store, pick up a little journal. It even says follow your dreams, which I thought was so perfect, and create that into a dream journal. So jotting down the dreams first thing in the morning, right when you wake up, setting the intention to remember your dreams if you have a hard time with that. I didn't mention that in the other 2 groups, so that may be something that you struggle with, group number 3. You may have a hard time recalling your dreams. It's like they're very vivid when you're in them, but then as soon as you wake up, it's like poof, gone. If that's the case, set the intention before you go to sleep that you're going to remember those dreams. It'll make it easier, especially over time, if you make this a practice and a routine, that your subconscious mind will obey. Your subconscious mind needs to be programmed with intention, and the conscious mind is the way that we do that. So they're actually recommending that to you so that it can help you to recall these things and then do the interpretation work. So what you want to do, get yourself a journal, write down the gist of as much as you can remember from the dream, and then go into interpretation. So look for themes. What do these themes mean? How would you interpret that based on what you know about yourself, what's going on in your current life? Themes, patterns, synchronicities, symbols. Pay attention to those things and apply. So let's find out what information Spirit wants to bring to you here in your reading today in regard to your dreams. So group number 3. Let me just clear that deck because I did the 2 other readings. All right, and I filled this one. So for group number 3, Spirit, what do they need to know about their dreams? Working with their dreams effectively, remembering, recalling their dreams. Okay, we have 4 cards from this deck. Okay, we have worlds within worlds. Wow, yeah. You know, that's kind of what dreams are. And they're showing me the movie Inception in my mind. And that is a movie about dreams. And it's like worlds within worlds. So this is kind of what they're showing me here, is these different layers of consciousness within the self, the different dimensional layers as well. Because when we're dreaming, we're actually, the astral body layer of the energy body leaves the physical body and moves into different dimensional bandwidths of the astral realm. And so there's many different layers and worlds within those worlds of the astral realm, but our astral self can go and explore these different parts of the subconscious, of the lower astral if we're really dealing with like some dark stuff, the mid astral if we're just kind of like fantasizing and creating, the upper astral when we're connecting to our higher self and replenishing our physical vital force energy. That's the part of the sleep cycle where we're doing really deep cellular regeneration. So I see like there's all of these different layers of the mind that they want you to become aware of. And I think that's why they've asked you to set the intention to remember these things. Maybe even learning to lucid dream could be helpful if you haven't already done that. All right, let's see. Awaken. Yeah. Wow. I literally just said lucid dreaming, and that's what it is. It's awakening to the fact that you're dreaming while you're in a dream. So it's pretty next level stuff. I've only done it, I think, twice, but that was when I was actually trying. Like I tried and I did it and I was like, okay, that was cool. And then I kind of stopped. But I think Spirit wants me to get back into it. They definitely want you to get into it if you haven't already, or to really enhance that process, because it's going to give you so much additional insight into what these worlds within worlds are trying to show you. So if you can awaken to the fact that you're dreaming within the dream, it's really cool because you can kind of control it, but at the same time, it's still kind of is just happening. So it's like it's a bit of both. Like you're aware that you're dreaming, so you can influence it, but the subconscious is still kind of creating all of like the territory and all of the environment. And it's a really cool feeling. It's kind of hard to hold it sometimes, at least it was for me. I would like snap into it and then I would just fade back into the unconscious dreaming where I'm just participating in it rather than observing and being aware that, oh, I'm sleeping right now and I'm in a dream. Oh, that's cool. That's like Inception. I think that's why they showed me that with the World Within Worlds card. This is so cool, group number 3. Okay, you have number 10 with compassion. And 24, new chapter. Ooh. I feel like this is a new chapter that you're opening into your unconscious mind. They're showing me these 2 cards here looking very similar in the essence of like the crown chakra and the third eye being very enlightened. And that's really what astral projection and lucid dreaming and doing any kind of dream interpretation work can help you to do. It is diving into the different layers of the consciousness, and meditation during your waking life is one way to do that, but it's almost like meditating at a really deep level when you're doing it in the subconscious. So that's what they want you to focus on, group 3, and that's going to help you to see these things that seemed like they were very far off points of focus, but it's like you're going to be able to zoom in on them and see them very, very clearly, because what they just showed me in my mind was the image that you guys chose, which was the stars, and then they showed me the actual stars in the sky, and to us from this vantage point, they look like little pinpricks of light. But they were showing me you being able to like zoom into them and see these different worlds. So this could quite literally be lucid dreaming as a form of astral projection, because they're kind of two sides of the same coin. One, you're doing it in the subconscious realm. One, you're doing it more consciously, above board, and neither is greater or lesser than the other. Both of them will give you access to these different worlds. So you might even be going beyond just your own subconscious mind and tapping into the galactic mind or the cosmic mind. So this is really like next level stuff. I am getting starseed energy from you, group number 3. So that's where the soul has spent a lot of time in a different star system and then incarnates somewhere else. So it's like traveler souls, wanderer souls, light worker souls, earth angels. Yeah, this is going to help you to discover all of these different parts of yourself is kind of what they're showing me. It's like you're going to get access to all of this information, like a whole chapter of the book that you weren't aware was there. Sometimes the new chapter card can be about like you writing a new chapter for yourself. But what I'm seeing is that you're like starting to read a new chapter of the book of yourself. This could even be tapping into the Akash, because yeah, you can't, like, there's so many different layers to this. And when you get into exploring consciousness in general, whether it's unconscious, subconscious, superconscious, whatever, you're able to connect to these different dimensional frequency realms, and the Akashic, the astral, the cosmic, these are all different kind of layers or different worlds within worlds. Okay, so now they're showing me in Men in Black. I can't remember if it's at the very end or at the beginning, where it's like zooming in, and they were showing us that with the stars before. Yeah, it zooms out to such a degree that you see all of these galaxies within universes, within universes, within universes, and then it's like there's this giant alien being that's like playing marbles with all of these universes. Like, we're the dreamer and we're in the dream right now, and we can dream within the dream. So like this life, this consciousness is inception, and they want you to explore that more. Group number 3, like really deep dive into that, get super psychedelic with it, make it intentional, get yourself some lucid dreaming books if you need to. I've got some here, hold on. Okay, got a couple of different recommendations for you, group number 3. If you want to go really cosmic with it, but like also scientific, I recommend A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. Super cool book. Love it. Second, this one I haven't read yet, but Spirit actually recommended it to you, specifically group number 3, and I need to read it. So I don't really know what this is about. It was given to me by a former client, so thank you to the client who sent this to me. It's Seth Dreams and Projections of Consciousness. And then this one I have read, and sorry that it's a little bit mucky, it's old as heck, but Lucid Dreaming by Pamela Ball. Yeah, Pamela Ball. This was the one that I read, and I was able to lucid dream basically within a couple of days. I just didn't keep up with it. Discipline is the thing. So group number 3, that's really kind of what they're getting at here. They want you to really dive into your consciousness at a deep, deep level. So let's keep going. Let's find out more information. Feel this card and this card. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and that card. Okay, fine. I was hesitating on the third card. I was like, I couldn't quite tell if it was supposed to be here or not. And then at the last second, it was like, yeah, it's supposed to. Okay, so you have the Freedom card. Group number 2 had this one. And group 1 had Freedom as well. So I feel like doing any kind of dream work and integration of that different layer of consciousness is going to bring freedom. And I see you really busting out of the chains here. It could even quite literally be the chains of the physical body. Like being able to astral travel is freedom, because you're not limited by the physical body anymore, and you're always tethered to it. So you'll always snap right back into the body at your first thought of that, or even if you feel a little bit afraid, you just right back into the body. So there's nothing to worry about there. It's very safe. You do need to know what you're doing, which is why I recommend doing your research, right, guys? You guys know what to do, right? I hope. So you've got beyond fear here as well. So this freedom is going to take you beyond your fears because you're going to see the infinite potential. That's what Spirit just said. You're going to see the infinite potential within your consciousness and the great power that you truly are. So really rediscovering your divine expression, reconnecting to your cosmic lineage, being able to access these different dimensional states within the self through consciousness and the connections therein. And then you have transformation. Ooh, the butterfly and the chrysalis. Yeah, so group number 3, I see you really going through a huge transformation by doing this kind of work. And they really want you to focus on transcendence. That's what it feels like, transcendence, transcending different aspects that were creating limitations for you. And even the caterpillar turning into the butterfly, gaining wings and being able to fly, that is freedom. And it's the same thing, like the body here is kind of like the caterpillar, and the fully embodied soul being able to fly free and still return to the body is kind of like having wings. You can fly and you can still come back home into the physical anchored 3D reality while you're here within this incarnation, which is only temporary, right? We all signed up for this temporary ride. We knew that it's not going to be forever, but our soul is forever. So it's kind of like reconnecting to that. Okay, you have the dissolving light. Okay. There's so much light in all of these cards, so I do feel like you're going to be projecting your consciousness through light, traveling beyond the speed of light is what they just said. I think that's why they recommended A Brief History of Time, because it goes into theories of like time and space and gravity and the speed of light and all of these things. So I feel like it's like conscious, they just said consciousness is the only thing that can travel faster than the speed of light. Yeah. And I feel like you're kind of dissolving these barriers between different layers of consciousness. Now, you want to do this really, I don't want to say conservatively, but you want to do this very carefully, group number 3. You don't want to go blasting into the psychic realm and shooting yourself off into astral travel before you know what you're doing. You want to take this really slow, follow your intuition, your inner guidance. Make sure you're doing it in a safe way, because you can do this the wrong way. It is possible to make mistakes, and that will cost you in terms of your psychic and psychological health. So you do want to just be cautious, I guess I would say. Not afraid, because you're meant to be moving beyond fear. So don't fear, but just make sure you're doing your research and that you are trusting your inner knowing and not pushing yourself too hard because your ego wants something that your soul also wants, but maybe not quite as fast as the ego wants it. Does that make sense? It's like go at the pace of your soul, not at the pace of your ego. Make sure you're doing your research and you'll be good. Okay. Yeah. No more of this one, they said? Okay. Oh, we're actually going back into this deck again. Okay. And then we'll get some coffee cup oracle for you as well, group number 3. Actually, it's this card here, isn't it? Yeah. Unconditional love. The highest vibration of all is unconditional love, group number 3. And it's not an emotion. It's not like a human thing that's born out of attachment. Unconditional love is the pure state of consciousness. If you can connect to that, you can really awaken super powerful layers of yourself. It can also help to protect you if you're going into that lucid dreaming or astral projection state, because you're not going to be afraid of what you find there, because you understand that it's a part of you that you're seeing. And if you can come with love and really hold that frequency intentionally, which takes discipline, right? It does. Then you can really transform all of the unconscious muck and all of the different layers of. It's not even just like your own unconscious that I'm seeing you doing work with here. I'm seeing you doing work with like the universal consciousness. So it's very big. It's spiritual mastery type level stuff that I'm seeing here, group number 3. And if you don't feel ready for this yet, then this is going to be in the far future. But if you're ready for this now and you've been seeing synchronicities around this, if this has been repeating or if it's been popping into your mind as an idea or anything like that, It's an indication that you're ready. And if you don't feel quite ready yet, this is going to help you to get ready because you'll be able to move beyond the fear. But if you do know that you're ready, then this is just confirmation for you to really dive even deeper intentionally into these different layers of consciousness. Okay, we have relocation and home with the house card. I heard our house in the middle of our street, our house. I don't even know what that's from. That's a song, isn't it? Yeah, well, obviously it's a song, but I feel like it was from something. And it was like, oh, right. The quote from Jesus, in my Father's house there are many rooms. Just butchered that quote, but you guys get my drift. Basically saying that the house of consciousness has many rooms within it. What this means is that there's many different dimensions within consciousness. There's worlds within worlds. There's rooms within houses. And the mansion of the soul is vast, is what Spirit just said. Yeah, so you're like exploring different rooms in the mansion of the soul. In these different internal and external, really it's all the same thing. It is external, but it's also all internal. Yeah. So you're exploring these different realms within the self. And I do feel like you're traveling. You're traveling when you're asleep. You're doing this very unconsciously, but again, they want you to make it more conscious, awakening in those dream states or doing it in a more intentional way, because you are a traveler, group number 3. And that's, like I said, that's what starseeds are. We're travelers. You have the flowers with romance and sweetness as well. So since you have unconditional love here, I feel like this is really helping you to unlock a lot of heart level healing within you, because that's what I'm feeling from the flowers. It's like the heart chakra starts to bloom as you really dive into these different layers within the self. It's like you can see yourself better, you know? Like if you go and explore your house, those parts of the house are not neglected. You can put fresh flowers in the room. It livens it up, brings life back to it again. It's almost like by exploring these different worlds within worlds, you're bringing life back to them, because it's through your observer consciousness that you change the state of matter. If you haven't looked up the double slit experiment, I definitely recommend it. It's like quantum mechanics, quantum theory. It's wave versus particle, observer effect, all that stuff. So this is like really high level metaphysical stuff here that we're talking about, group 3. So hopefully you're on board. If you're still here 20 minutes in, you probably are. So that's good. You have justice and documents with the scales. I do see contracts, okay? There's something about a soul contract. Could be romantic relationship contracts. You signed up to embody something very specific in this life, group number 3. And Spirit wants you to remember that. And the way that you're going to do that is really through diving into these inner realms and awakening yourself, both in the unconscious realm and in this conscious reality. It's like you have a contract to do this profound awakening work, expanding your consciousness. I just heard rehabilitating the self. And then they're showing me that neglected house again, and it's like you're overhauling it, you're completely transforming it. You're completely transforming that house. The neglected house becomes fully lived in again. All the lights go on. Right. The lights being off in the house represents unconsciousness. The lights going on in the house represents consciousness. So the more territory you explore, the more awareness you have, the more the lights go on, the less neglected things are. Okay, this is all fitting together. And you have a contract at soul level to do that, group number 3. In the halls of pre-incarnation, we do write soul contracts, and there are certain things that are kind of like non-negotiables. This is where like destiny comes into play. And we set ourselves up for situations in our life that are going to help catalyze that. They could be intrinsic, internal motivations that drive us forward in these directions. They could be extrinsic, like environmental things or situations that cause us to awaken abruptly, sometimes catastrophic things, painful things. Dark nights of the souls are not easy, right? But it's all for this catalyzation into the expanded consciousness and exploring these different realms in your Father's house. Our Father's house. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So you're taking as above, so below, and you're anchoring this heavenly consciousness, this expanded level awareness of self into the physical reality. It's kind of like becoming Neo in the Matrix, right? You're waking up and transcending the Matrix itself because you understand that you are that, and that is also a part or a projection of you. Yeah, okay, so stability, growth, and the tree. And directions and journey with the ship. Yeah, I knew that travel, it's like interdimensional travel and interconsciousness travel. You're being the explorer of the worlds within your own world. And they keep bringing me back to this message that everything that you think is outside of you is inside of you. So when you look out and you look at the stars, they're not actually outside of you, they're inside of you. When you look out at me and you see me on the screen, I'm not actually outside of you, I'm inside of you. And vice versa, you're inside of me. And we all exist independently, but we're actually all just one thing. It's all just consciousness in different points of focus. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like this illusion of the light, and it kind of tricks the mind into thinking it's separate, but it's really not. And they want you to really kind of set sail into this vast expanse of consciousness exploration. Wow. Alrighty then. So that is what I see for you, group number 3. Very cool reading, different than the other two, very next level. So I'm really excited for you guys, and I'm happy that we were able to sit down and do this reading today, and that Spirit called me to do it. So if you guys are interested in expanding this process even further than what we talked about here, I definitely recommend learning the language of Spirit. That can help you to understand what it is that you're seeing within the subconscious mind or in these different rooms of the house. It can help you to work more intentionally and consciously with your soul and with Spirit here in this life. And the way that I'm going to help you guys do that is through teaching tarot. I'll also be coming out with a second course in February, which is going to go more into the psychic development and the intuitive enhancement as well. But for now, we're starting with tarot, and tarot teaches you symbolism. And if you can understand symbolism, you have the foundational tools to be able to understand the language of Spirit, which is through symbols, imagery, feelings, and all of that. So if you're interested, sign up for Tarot 101. It's happening January 3rd, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. If you're wanting to attend, the link is in the description box below. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Oh, and if you want to join the channel and go deep into more esoteric style content, like we kind of talked a little bit about that here in this reading, but we go deeper in the member side of the channel. There's the Soul Tribe and Soul Family tiers with different options within them at different price points with different advantages, but both of them will give you access to additional pick a card readings as well as monthly live streams where the members can ask me personal questions, and I do kind of like private readings but live on camera in that smaller group. So if you guys are interested, hit the join button underneath the video. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.